everybody. This is Alan Fine for Virtual Road Shows, and this is for luxury, selling luxury. What makes for a great luxury ocean or river cruise in 2025? With us, we've got three experts. I want to introduce Kelly Ross, Key Account Manager, Azamara Cruises, and Jason Douglas Harris, Senior Director, Strategic Partners for Silversea, and Matthew Zion, Director of National Accounts for AmaWaterways. All right, so I'm required by Insider Travel Report law to read this disclosure. This is what this particular podcast is about, this panel. What do luxury cruises offer that sets them apart today? What kind of innovative itineraries and destinations are they offering? What dining options do they need to have? What tours and excursions do they need to offer? This panel examines how luxury travel and cruising has evolved. So let's just start off with each of you. And can each of you briefly describe your ocean or river cruise line and what it offers? And let's start with Kelly.
Well, thanks, Alan, so much for the opportunity. The thing, and I think we would all agree, is that luxury has really changed in terms of definition over the last few years, and it's now become something where I think luxury is about the destination and experiential travel and having the opportunity to have more time in the destination to experience it. And when you think of cruising historically, it's been in and out of a destination rather quickly, not really having the time to really explore too much beyond, maybe 8 to 4 or 9 to 4. Where at Azamara, we really consider, each guest, looking for more experiential travel and having a much deeper connection to the destinations that they visit, paramount to what we do. So we offer a lot of late night and overnight stays. In fact, if you look at our itineraries, about 80% of the time we are in a port of call, and about 50% of that will feature a late night of 8 p.m. or later, or an overnight stay. And then from the onboard experience, I like to refer to it as quiet luxury, and that it is not full luxury. It's not all inclusive, but it's very inclusive. It's impeccable level of service, fantastic cuisine, all delivered in a really relaxed country club casual manner. So people can really settle in and enjoy the onboard experience. It's very congenial, very relaxed, as I mentioned, and then just giving them a lot more time in the destination to explore and experience it from a more local level.
Okay. And Jason, give us a lowdown on your product.
Sure, thanks, Alan. So Silversea small ships are designed for those that delight in discovery and indulge in luxury. At Silversea, we provide the most inclusive offerings in luxury cruising, which includes butler service in every suite category. We provide immersive journeys to all 7 continents. And how do we get there? We have 12 ships in our fleet, 8 dedicated to ocean, 4 dedicated to expedition. We not only have the largest fleet in luxury, we have the newest fleet with 6 ships launched since June of 2020. I'm going to repeat that again because that's a huge accomplishment. 6 ships launched since 2020. Also at Silversea, we continue to innovate in the luxury and expedition space. As an example, we are developing a 150-room hotel in Port Williams that will create an unrivaled experience for guests sailing in Antarctica. We revealed the name of the hotel recently, which is called the Cormorant at 55 South. The hotel will facilitate a frictionless journey to Antarctica and further provide and strengthen our leadership in expedition segment.
Great. And then over to you, Matthew, and
Perfect.
tell us
Thanks,
about
Alan.
Amma.
It's interesting to hear both Kelly and Jason because I think there's so many similarities really across the brands. And same, we sit right in that pocket. I think historically people think of river cruising as something you're really going to wait to do until you're much older. And that couldn't be any further from the truth, especially with AmaWaterways. It's really providing that boutique luxury experience. It is simply a luxurious hotel that's just traveling with you. It's, to Kelly's point, spending more time in each of the destinations. From the moment you wake up until you go to sleep, you're in the heart of the city. These iconic destinations all throughout Europe, like Amsterdam, Vienna, Budapest, Paris, as well as quaint little towns, they're all built on the river. It was the highway of the time. So by visiting on the rivers, it's fantastic. I mean, Budapest was literally divided by the Danube, half Buda, half Pest. We dock right there. You're steps away from so many things you might want to see and experience. The smaller guest count, we average about 150 guests on board. There's so many different things, but I think we'll continue to dive deeper into this. But hopefully that gets you a little
Great.
excited, a little better understanding.
You guys have given a good overview. Now let's talk about what is it that makes your product upscale or luxury, and let's stick with AmaWaterways.
Sure. I think luxury is a hard word to define. I think my idea of luxury is going to be different than everyone on this panel. But luxury speaks to the accommodations. I think certainly the level of service that you receive. It's the incredible little touches. It's surprise and delight. One of my favorite things that we do on board is that first evening, the captain gives every lady on the ship a rose. And it's just those little surprises, I think, that really do speak to luxury. It's knowing every single guest's name. But beyond that, how do they like their coffee in the morning? What type of wines do they like? How do they like their eggs prepared? It's those touches. And even taking it one step further, when you get back to your stateroom, it's having a bud vase waiting for them to put that rose in. It's those, I think, little touches that really define luxury with AmaWaterways.
And Kelly, tell us about Azamara and what makes it upscale or luxury.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we really deliver what I like to call quiet luxury. If you look at our ships, there's just 4 identical ships of no more than 700 guests. So they're very intimate. They're designed and set up in a way that really creates that elegant feel on board, but in a really unobtrusive way. As Matthew was just mentioning, very true on Azamara as well, and that our staff are incredibly friendly. They're engaging. They know what our guests like. They know their preferences. They go above and beyond. If there's something not available on a menu, for example, on one of our dining options, they will make sure it's available the next night and throughout the entire voyage. I think the other nice thing about Azamara is that when you're in a destination and the captains have the ability and the autonomy to create an experience that's going to really highlight that experience, as Matthew mentioned, sort of highlight and delight, is a couple of quick examples. We were, one of our sailings was in Norway. Captain was hearing rumors that there was a very important anniversary that a couple was having. They were in one of our dining options. They couldn't really see the spectacular sunset that everyone was talking about. So he slowed the ship down and he just made a slow 360-degree turn in the middle of the fjord so everybody could see from wherever they were on the ship this incredible sunset and the amazing views that were available. And that's not typical on a lot of the larger cruise lines. They just don't have that flexibility. And a personal example was just last summer, I was on board in Iceland. The weather happened to be fantastic. We deliver what we call the White Night pool party. It is an absolutely phenomenal evening event out on the pool deck. Incredible food. All of the captains, the crew, the staff are serving our guests. And it's really best done outside. And we usually do this on a late night or an overnight stay in the heart of a city. Weather was looking rather inclement, and it happened to hold. And so captain said, you know what, we're going to stay an extra 2.5 hours in port, and we are going to have the White Night as it should be out on the pool deck. And what was great about that is over half of that particular sailing was brand new to Azamara. They never had experienced this before. So that's going to create memories that will keep guests coming back again and again. So as Matthew mentioned, luxury is hard to define, and it's just little touches and going above and beyond from sailing to sailing that really creates that unique experience. And that's very true on Azamara.
And Jason's, Silversea luxury, how do you define it? And what are the things you guys are doing?
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to follow the same theme as Kelly and Matthew. Luxury has evolved over the years, and it continues to evolve, and it means different things to different people. But I think service is a constant, and personalized service remains a jewel in our crown. I previously mentioned our butlers, who offers around-the-clock service in all suites. Our team of dedicated men and women ensure that all the guest needs are met, with thought, charm, the element of surprise from the moment guests step on board, or in fact, even before. But once they do board, they're pampered from dusk to dawn. At Silversea, we call it, it's known as the Silversea Way. We really truly do lead with that. And again, I think, again, service has and remains the one constant that hasn't changed in the luxury space as it's evolved.
Let's talk about experiences. What can the luxury traveler experience with your brands that's exceptional? We've already actually kind of covered it a little bit, but let's go deeper. Jason, continue, please.
Yeah, I'll speak about our SALT program. It's one of our culinary programs that we offer on board. It's called SALT. It stands for Sea and Land Taste, and it's actually my favorite. I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but it is. And the reason why, it has 5 different components. The SALT Lab. The SALT Lab is an interactive cooking lab that guests can get, hands-on experience creating local recipes from the destinations they're visiting. And then we have the Chef's Kitchen, the Salt's Kitchen. One of our restaurants on board features a daily menu, recipes created that reflect the food and traditions of the destinations we're visiting. So it changes. Every time we hit a new port, the menu changes. Then you have the Salt Bar, where guests get to appreciate the nuances of local cocktails. The Chef's Table. The Chef's Table is the same venue as the lab, but the tables are turned literally at night. The chef's now cooking for you. And then it's called Sea and Land because there is a land component to this, all with a culinary focus, meaning that guests get to spend time. For an example, if they're in Norway, they could be with a famous chef learning the chef's techniques or trying that hand pasta making in Sicily. Again, it's just one dining program we have on board, but it's my favorite because it's so intuitive.
Okay, experiences. So Matthew, give us some experiences that you're proud of that you want to relate to the travel advisors.
Absolutely. I'll kind of lean into what Jason said, and I'm sure Kelly can speak to this as well. But I mean, we're cruise lines. Food, cuisine is such a major part of any cruise I've ever experienced. It's certainly no different with AmaWaterways. I think what is different, what does set us apart, is the fact that there's fewer guests on board. Averaging 150 guests. The chefs go out to the local markets. They bring the food back. You get a taste and a flavor of where we're traveling. And I think, one of the challenges with river cruising is the space. Having fewer guests and more crew, we're able to do a lot of fun things that traditionally you haven't been able to see on river cruise lines, like specialty dining, which is a big part of ocean cruising, not so common with river cruising. We have a beautiful chef's table experience. It's always one of my favorite nights. It's located aft at the rear of the ship. It's a dedicated space, open kitchen concept, multi-course menu. It's complemented by hand-selected wine. It is a spectacular elevated evening, and one that guests, I think, especially from an advisor point of view, there's no additional charge or fee for this. You simply make a reservation once you get on board.
On Azamara, what kind of experiences do you want to highlight?
Yeah, I'll touch a little bit on our food, but before I do that, I want to talk about, again, one of the pillars that really set us apart when we first became a brand back in 2009, and then when we sort of started evolving, and that was the longer stays and more overnights. We call it destination immersion, and we've actually expanded on that now. We just recently announced what we were calling destination immersion elevated. And that is going to really incorporate more destination into the things that we do, one of which is culinary, where we're introducing 150 plus new entrees into our menus throughout the ship that really incorporate the destinations that we visit. Every night in our main dining restaurant, Discoveries, there is a destination themed menu. So a starter, a main, and a dessert that is really geared towards a specific destination. And beyond that, just from an experiential standpoint, we've always incorporated the Oz Amazing Evenings. These are our bespoke evening events that we've carefully curated that really bring out the destination. And these are not things you can Google and do with anybody else. It is specific to our brand. It's things like the three tenors performing just for the Azamara guests in the Goldani Theater in Livorno. I've personally done that. I've been to the Solis Theater in Montevideo, Uruguay, where there was an incredible Carnival performance. And we do these all over the world. And we've now added about 34 new Oz Amazing Evenings as well going forward. We're introducing more night and evening tours for our guests to be able to explore a destination throughout the day into the evening and then at night. A great example is Barcelona. Barcelona is a great city to explore in terms of architecture and sightseeing, but it's totally different at night, and you're going to want to experience that in a different way. So we're offering things for our guests to do when it comes to evening and night touring. And then we've also expanded on our already available excursions with some curator collection offerings that are much more intimate, smaller group experiences. So that guest, we know not everyone is cut from the same cloth. Not everyone wants to see the destination the same way. So there's a wide array of ways for our guests to experience destination with Azamara both on and off the ship.
So you've already answered, Kelly, the next question. So before we move on to the others, so we're going to ask, I want to ask what destinations will attract the luxury traveler. So do you want to add anything to your answer, and then we'll go to the other guys?
Sure. So in regard to destinations and places that we do really well, we do go to all 7 continents. We are able to offer sort of multi-country broad brushstroke itineraries. We've expanded on a lot of grand voyages and world cruises and so forth. But one of the things we do really well is what we call our country intensive itineraries, where it's a blend of both marquee ports of call as well as smaller, less traveled ports or hidden gems. As you know, we are an ocean-going cruise line. We are not a river cruise, but we are able to get into some riverways that others aren't able to get to from an ocean-going perspective. I'll give you 2 quick examples. One is Seville. Rather than docking out in Cadiz and driving 2+ hours to get to Seville, we can actually sail up the Guadalquivir River, dock city center of Seville. And another great destination is Bordeaux. We are going to be able to dock city center on the estuary rather than docking out in La Rochelle. So again, it's really expanding on the destination experiences all throughout the world, but it's specifically throughout Europe. So the Mediterranean, we do really well. Asia is another great destination for us with our country intensive itineraries to Japan. South Africa, we also partner with Mikado Safaris for pre and post land programs. We have great programming into South America, pre and post, as well as cruises that are going to take in the entirety of the continent. So again, spanning to all 7 continents and offering this more country intensive itineraries really allows for our guests to experience the whole world from Azamara.
Jason, Silversea goes everywhere.
Yeah.
So how do you? I want you to try to answer. How do you attract the luxury guest with which locations?
Yeah, to that point, Alan, I think our overall vast variety of destinations is what gets finally appealing about Silversea. We are the destination leader, traveling to more destinations than any other cruise line. And I guess travelers that have been there, done that, they look to us for more unique destinations. Even if it's destinations that they've traveled to before, we're always scouting new locations to explore. And especially with our expedition product. You know, with the expedition product, and actually I'll just back up a little bit. So like everybody, we go to all 7 continents, all of the key marquee destinations. But expedition is where we can really get creative. Of course, we go to the polar regions, the North Pole, the South Pole, but we go to the far-flung destination that people don't often think of when they think expedition. The Indian Ocean, the Kimberleys in Australia. So some of these unique destinations really do appeal to the luxury traveler because, again, they've been there, done that, and they're looking for something different.
That's great. Now, Matthew, I want you to really lean into the fact that AMA goes to, we forget how many places it goes to. Yeah. Now let's attract the luxury traveler. Where do you go?
Absolutely. We're not the largest river cruise line, but we do try to be the absolute best. And of course, the favorite partner of advisors. When you think of river cruising, to your point, Alan, we typically think of Europe. We're on essentially every navigable waterway throughout Europe, but the world of AmaWaterways really has grown. We're adding 10 additional ships to our fleet in the next 3 years. So we'll have 25 ships in Europe, which of course is, the heart of our fleet. However, we have what we call our exotic destinations. So we'll have 7 ships across our exotics. We just added a brand new, beautiful ship to the Nile in Egypt. I had the opportunity to do that. It's a phenomenal, bucket list destination. And it really is a first-class way of seeing this beautiful destination. South Africa on the Chobe River, the Zambezi Queen is just 28 passengers. My favorite river cruise is Vietnam and Cambodia on the Mekong. Kong. I can tell you, I'm a better person for having experienced that part of the world and taken, that trip. And starting literally this week, just days ago, our inaugural sailing on the Colombia
Colombia. Yeah.
destination. We're so excited to be on the Magdalena River. We're the first and only river cruise line to be exploring this brand new destination and bringing, our AmaWaterways experience to a whole new part of the world is beyond exciting. And I think even more than that, it's been incredible to see the local communities and the people coming out, literally by the hundreds and thousands, lining the waterway and being on the bridges to cheer us and welcome us, and building the infrastructure there together. So the world continues to grow for AmaWaterways, and I know there's certainly more waterways and destinations that we're looking into.
The next question is about marketing and how do you market to the luxury traveler? And of course, right now we're marketing to the luxury travel advisor. Let's start with Jason. How do you do it?
Yeah, from a consumer perspective, and B2C, we really focus on segmentation, especially when we're collaborating with our trade partners to ensure that we're targeting the right guest demographics, especially for the Silversea product. And for outreach, when we look beyond the traditional travel sectors, our team studies consumer insights, so we know where to target and to find the luxury consumer. I'm also really impressed with our social media presence, notably since we launched our new brand positioning. The content is really captivating and at times interactive. Talking about brand positioning, we just went live with the brand position on March 16th. Anchor around our new tagline, to find you more. So the refresh comes with a new way of communicating to our consumers across all marketing platforms, and it includes new imagery, communication style, creative, which allows us to be more authentic and focus on the joy of travel. So again, we focus on all of the traditional marketing platforms and tools, but we're looking for new ways to target the consumer. And reach a broader audience. And from an advisor perspective, there's a lot of interest in luxury, and for good reasons, right? I know a lot of clients and advisors are interested in it because it pays well. That's why we all come to work. So there's a lot of attention on luxury right now, which we appreciate.
And Kelly, how does Azamara target the luxury traveler and the travel advisor?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think we are and have always been very trade focused. We're very much a proponent for the trade and their ability to bring their clients to Azamara. We have expanded on a lot more direct marketing to the consumer over the last few years, which has helped getting more word out. And as Jason mentioned, our social media presence has continued to grow and has become more robust and more interesting, drawing more appeal that way as well. So there's a lot of ways that we're going about it. Specifically from the trade as well, we do have our travel partner appreciation month that's coming up in May. So there's always some things going on there. And one of the exciting things that we did recently and we're looking to do again is something we called Chart Your Own Course, which was a competition or a contest, if you will, for a lucky winner to come to Miami and work with our itinerary managers and put together their own itinerary and then sail on that itinerary. So that was pretty exciting because that allowed them to really bring their expertise and their interest and where they wanted to go to life in their very own itinerary. So that's pretty exciting as well to get folks engaged from the trade perspective.
Yeah, this is all, as you speak, you're reminding me how open you guys are to the travel advisor and how supportive, and no one more than AmaWaterways. Tell us, how are you targeting the luxury travel advisor and guests?
Absolutely, Alan. I mean, you're absolutely right. The vast majority of our business always has and continues to be through the trade and through travel advisors, leaning into our incredible partnerships and relationships that we have, continuing to provide programming and and a plethora of marketing opportunities to really get in front of your clients. Most clients are well aware of river cruising. They may not know AmaWaterways. I think everyone within the industry certainly does, but we truly rely on the advisor to say, "Oh, you're interested in a river cruise. Here are your options." It's down to really the fundamentals of going back down to the relationship and the partnerships that we have in place, and continuing to grow those accordingly.
And so that's marketing, but the proof of the support that you all give to the travel advisor are the programs. So let's talk a moment about what's new for them, so that they can do a better job. Let's start with I don't know. Let's start with Kelly with Azamara.
So we have our travel agent portal known as Azamara Connect, and it's really a one-stop online platform that has everything that they need in order to help promote and sell our brand. One of the components of that particular platform is what we call the Azamara World Academy. It is a revised training platform for our advisors to go and learn at their own pace, all about Azamara, ways to position us, how to market us, what makes us different, and so on. And it's ever expanding. So coming May 1st, because we are and have recently announced our Alaska cruise tours for 26, there's a whole new training module on how we're going to deliver land as part of our cruising to Alaska in 2026. So when our advisors go and they take the training, they become Azamara experts, and then there's a badge for that they can put on their signature lines and their emails and use to promote that expertise. And there will be a one specifically for Destination Immersion Elevated that's kind of geared around that Alaska product as well. So that is really a great resource for all advisors to go and get everything they need, from promotions to trainings to our booking platform, and everything else is right there at Azamara Connect.
That's great. And Jason, Silversea has always been supportive. Tell us about the programs for the travel advisors.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a wealth of resources, starting with our Silversea Academy. It's the perfect training platform for trade partners to become proficient at everything Silversea, ocean and expedition. It's an intuitive program. It has modules that you can start and jump back in at your time, at your leisure. It's a 12-minute module, and it gives you the insights that you wouldn't really have unless you did it, right? So people want to become experts, but they have to kind of invest the time. And I highly encourage our partners that, take the time. Again, it's intuitive. You do it at your own pace, but you really truly become an expert at our products. And then we have Valio, is a social media resource. We partnered with Valio to provide a turnkey solution. You get to set it and leave it, essentially. You get to control the content and the call to action that's featured on the polls. But again, there's a lot of time and commitment to manage a social media profile. And again, this is a turnkey solution that does it all for you. And then we've just partnered with a company called Approach Guys. It's for all travel partners. It makes it so easy to provide Silversea content. They can provide co-branded content either from our website or from different sources that we provide. Again, all these tools are provided to make the sales process easier for the advisor. And we continue to look for new ways to provide tools and resources for our partners. But so you've got the Silversea Academy, you've got Rallyo, and then the newly piece that we've just added was Approach Guides.
And Matthew, for AmaWaterways, tell us about the programs that support the travel advisors.
Sure. Just as Kelly and Jason, we've got a great travel advisor portal as well, amawaterways.com/advisor. There's 5 courses there that really dive deeper, into the history of AmaWaterways and the plethora of itineraries and beautiful vessels. Something that I love that actually came out of COVID was our webinar Wednesdays. And every Wednesday, we have hundreds of advisors who join us. We do this since COVID and have not stopped, and different focuses every single week. Different advisors have joined us, and certainly many of us at the corporate headquarters jump on as we're able to, executives all across the company. And it's just been a wonderful resource to that I've seen continue, and all of these are recorded, which is great as well. So you can go back if there's something, oh, I need to learn more about Egypt. You can go and listen to a webinar on Egypt. It's just been a wonderful resource. And beyond that, I think we've really learned the value of getting advisors on our ships, and we have so many programs to help do that, whether that's an upfront stateroom for a new group that you're creating. We know the value of having a come sail with me, or selling making 5 FIT bookings and being able to travel yourself with us. So all of this is on our advisory portal, and certainly, welcome any advisors to go there and learn more.
And Matthew, you said up front as you spoke the URL. So the next question for all of you, and Matthew, just finish. Any other URLs, any other places that travel advisors should go to get information, and then we'll ask the other guys.
No, I think that's going to be the absolute best resource is amawaterways.com/advisor. That's where all of the tools are located. We want to keep it as simple as possible, and that should be the best resource for you.
And Jason, for Silversea, can you give us all the URLs we need?
Yeah, so mysilversea.com is the main tool that you can actually create bookings. And then we have a platform called Marketing Central within that. And Marketing Central is a web-based tool that's easy to navigate. Advisors can find materials from sales offers, fleet information, brochures, customizable flyers, emails, digital banners, logos, photos, all kinds of collateral and content that they can use for marketing. Again, that's under MySilversea, or the URL is mysilversea.com. And then this resource is called Marketing Central.
Okay. And Kelly, for Azamara, what are all the URLs we need?
Well, basically, like Matthew said, there's really just the one main one, which is the connect page. It's connect.azamara.com. And there you can access digital assets library to download photos, videos, and whatnot if you're doing any sort of social media or marketing. When you download the current promotions, there's social media assets that you can utilize that are already pre-made for you there. There's the reservations platform. There's all this great information there. It really at your fingertips on one page, which is, again, connect.azamara.com. And then our consumer-facing website, azamara.com as well. But really, for the travel advisor, the Connect page is the absolute best place to go.
You guys who are at the conference, these guys are all available at their booth. So if you have other questions, get some live access, go to the booths. And thank you for attending this. Thank you all for doing this. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report and Virtual Roadshows Luxury.